Hello, Pastor Tommy from First Baptist Church in Newton. 2 weeks ago, a question was asked in our church's Zoom call. How do I practically grow my faith in Jesus? This is such a great question. And after reflecting on it a little bit, I jotted down 4 things, the first of which was in a previous video: forsake. Go to war with any sinful thing in your life that is keeping you from trusting, obeying, and enjoying Jesus, and throw it out. The other side of that coin is what I want to put before you today: focus. Focus on Him. It is not enough to let go of sin. You need to fill yourself with Him. Over the last few months, I have drastically changed my eating habits. And I learned something very early on. I will not be successful if I merely abandon all the foods that are bad for me. I'll never last. I must learn to actually enjoy the foods that are really good for me and appreciate the good things they do for me. The reformer John Calvin helpfully taught, if God contains in Himself, as an inexhaustible fountain, all fullness of blessing, those who aspire to the supreme good and perfect happiness must not long for anything beyond Him. That's right. That's what I need to tell myself. Listen to the psalmist in Psalm 62. My soul waits in silence for God. Here's the key word: only. From Him is my salvation. He only is my rock and my salvation, my stronghold. I shall not be greatly shaken. The psalmist is talking about what the Bible calls elsewhere the simplicity and purity of devotion to Christ. And here's the deal: there are 1,000 things that are competing for your attention, competing for your affection, competing for your devotion. Some of our lives are just busy. From the time we wake up, the first thing we do is check our phone. The last thing we do before we go to bed is check our phone, and everything in between is just cacophony of everything that wants your attention. Let me just give you one example from my life, and it's the temptation to live for the approval of people. And here's the reality: I cannot live my life to appease people and live my life to please Jesus. I can love people, I can serve people, but I must focus. I must live for Jesus. I must be ruled by Jesus. I must trust Jesus. Here's the word: only. If we've learned anything over these past few months with COVID, it's that everything we have in an instant can be taken away. But the reality is that even if all we have is Jesus, we will find that Jesus is everything we need. Listen to this last verse from Hebrews chapter 12. After telling the story after story of people who have trusted in Jesus and have been glad they did, here's what the writer of Hebrews says: let us also lay aside every encumbrance and the sin which so easily entangles us, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the author and the perfecter of faith, who for the joy set before Him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. He only is our salvation. He only is our rock. Let's focus on Him. Hope you're doing well. Lord willing, I'll get to see you soon.